Hello there, many thanks for joining us at this hour on QTV. You are watching QTV News and I am Ajibintu Drame. In tonight's top stories. President Adama Barrow, Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, on Saturday presided over the 13th convocation of the University of the Gambia, urging graduates to use the knowledge acquired to develop the country. 63 Gambia Armed Forces military police completed 3 weeks intensive training on Friday, organized by the Gambia Armed Forces in collaboration with the Royal Military Police of Great Britain. The Gambia Red Cross Society has received a grant from GIR Gambia to complement its outstanding COVID-19 response efforts. In sports news, Gambia's under-20 football team are through to the semi-final of the AFCON under-20 tournament after a comfortable quarter-final victory over the Central African Republic. Well, those were our headlines in tonight's bulletin. Do stay tuned for the news in detail. Now on to local stories. Graduates at the University of the Gambia starting convocation at Q City did not let COVID-19 restrictions spoil their day at a colorful event at the Q City in Bijilo. President Barrow, Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, urged graduates to use their knowledge acquired to develop the country. Aliou Cisse reports.
The 13th convocation hosted at Q City in Bijilo was a testimony that the university is not relenting in delivering the service which it was established for in 1999 by an act of parliament. Having been found worthy both in character and learning, 973 students were conferred variously with bachelor's, master's and PhD degrees. These graduates have now joined the thousands graduated at the university over the years, some of whom now occupy senior positions in both state and non-state institutions within and outside the country. After completing years of hard studies at the country's highest learning institution, the graduating students exuded pride and joy on a day that sees all that hard work recognized and awarded. Understandably, it was a low-key celebration coming amid the COVID-19 pandemic. But President Barrow, who is also the Chancellor of the UTG, cabinet ministers, invited guests and academics, including those from other universities, attended. Presiding over the convocation for the 4th consecutive time as Chancellor, President Barrow began his speech by congratulating the graduating students. He says he was proud to join the students to celebrate their achievements. The government, he went on, relies on the students to bring about the needed changes in the country. He describes the UTG as the pride of the nation where productive citizens are groomed. The convocation, he added, signifies the government's commitment to educate the young generation who are needed for the development of the country. It also signifies the readiness of the youth to acquire higher education to contribute to nation development, President Barrow told the crowd.
Today's ceremony signifies progress, and it underscores our commitment to educating our young men and women whose skills and training are badly needed for the socio-economic development of our dear country. The convocation also signals hope and the strong determination of the many youth who desire to uplift themselves, support their families, and contribute to national development by building their careers on sound academic disciplines and principles.
The Gambian leader went forward to call for all hands to be on deck to bring about desired changes. His government, according to him, places high importance on the role of students, hence the need to invest more in the education sector. He implored the graduating students to desist from all forms of dishonesty and sabotage. The UTG continues to break boundaries despite inadequate resources, infrastructural development, and transport difficulties, among others. Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, Professor Dr. Fakir Mohammed Anjum Chandri, says the convocation is an important event not only to the student but the leadership of the university as well. He informed the audience that despite the restrictions brought about by the pandemic, UTG lectures were not seriously disrupted as students were provided with internet data for online classes. He revealed that there were several projects to improve the teaching and learning. In their goodwill messages, guest speakers, including former UTG Vice Chancellor Professor Muhammad M. Oka, advised the graduates to strive and work hard to make best use of what they have learned. It will take determination to achieve their goals, and this is just the beginning of their adventure.
The supply for quality human resources has since the beginning of the pandemic remain constant as far as the UTG is concerned. Also, one cannot speak about the online class program without commending the efforts of our two indigenous GSM companies, Gamcell and QCell. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I say thank you to every staff of Gamcell and QCell for your selfless sacrifice and support. Indeed, the slogans Yaiborom and Sunubos have been clearly manifested.
Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
Well, congratulations to the graduates. In other news, 63 personnel of the Gambia Armed Forces Military Police completed 3 weeks intensive training on Friday on how to conduct arrests and search, among others. The training was organized by the Gambia Armed Forces in collaboration with the Royal Military Police of Great Britain. Aliou Cissé again.
This military police training course at the GAP Training School in Fajara seeks to further improve the performance of the course participants who are drawn from different military battalions in effecting their military police duties. These 63 personnel were trained on the military police code of conduct, how to conduct arrest and search, and statement taking and interviews, among others. The acting commandant of the GAP Training School, Major Andrew Dacosta, Provost Marshal Major Wassa Kamara, and Lieutenant Louis Oates, team leader of the Royal Military Police, hope the training will help improve the work of the participants both at home and on international peacekeeping missions.
This course, I strongly believe, had inspired the participants as it had offered them with the personal and the professional learning and experiences that improves their knowledge, which will go a long way in enhancing their career.
Training is one of the most important activities of any armed forces in the world. It is highly incomprehensible that intensive training breeds confidence, discipline, and professionalism.
It's now up to you to utilize the skills you have, to continue to adapt and learn, to use your knowledge to help the Gambian Armed Forces Military Police.
The two military forces of the Gambia and UK have a long history of working together, said the British High Commissioner to the Gambia, David Belgrove. He urges the participants to make the best use of the knowledge gained as he held the good reputation of the Gambia Armed Forces.
I used to lead the UK's peacekeeping policy, and I know from that time that the Gambian Armed Forces always had a very good reputation, particularly in UN peacekeeping missions, for their conduct and discipline as well as their professional abilities. And you're an important part of that, of upholding those standards, upholding the rule of law within the military, and actually representing your country overseas.
For Major General Mohamed O.A. Cham, Deputy Chief of Defence Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, the training is one among many that have been organized, with many to follow as part of ongoing efforts to have a more professional and well-trained army.
This training was conducted as part of the Chief of Defence Staff's Training Directives 2021, which is aimed at reinforcing the professional development of the Gambia Armed Forces Military Police. I am sure you will agree with me that the need for such a training is long overdue. The training that the Gambia Armed Forces Military Police received from the Royal Military Police Mobile Training Team is a significant milestone in the ongoing reform process to further professionalize the Gambia Armed Forces.
The military police are responsible for policing and disciplinary duties in the Gambia Armed Forces. They have an important but challenging responsibility in contributing to regimentation and the general discipline of the armed forces. Having been tested and evaluated, certificates were presented to the course participants. The most outstanding course participants were Lance Corporal Bana Sanyang and Sergeant Modu Mansari. In return, certificates and gifts were presented to the course instruction team. On behalf of the course participants, Corporal Sang Mendy gave assurances of their readiness to put into practice the knowledge gained. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
The Gambia Red Cross Society on Friday received a grant from GIR Gambia to complement its outstanding efforts in the response to the COVID-19 pandemic and to help reduce the surging cases of COVID-19 transmission. A check for $478,474 was presented to the Gambia Red Cross Society. This gesture is also to intensify the awareness of the risk, prevention messages and adherence to public health advice through community outreaches and the use of effective communication mechanisms through the media. The grant will also provide bicycles, PPEs, mobile phones and airtime bundles to equip 50 community surveillance and contact tracing volunteers that are crucial in reducing the rate of COVID-19 transmission and assisting affected households and first responders. Hadi Dandejabi, a representative of Ngir Gambia, says this initiative is significant as it seeks to address the issue of COVID-19 stigmatization, which is also hindering the effectiveness of the volunteers executing their duties.
As we all know, stigmatization has become a great hurdle in the COVID-19 response. Hence why it has made it difficult to do the contact tracing and to even be able to protect and treat people who have contacted the COVID-19. I think it is important that we support each other and not stigmatize each other. As you have just heard, which I wasn't even aware of, is that one of their key members has lost his life by trying to save others. We congratulate Red Cross for being there, for being in the forefront.
Recently, the Gambia witnessed a surge in cases of COVID-19 transmission. According to the Gambia COVID-19 Outbreak Institutional Report, one new COVID-19 related death has been recorded this week, bringing to 147 the number of deaths linked to the disease since March 2020. As of Friday, there were 563 active cases, while 34 people are currently in quarantine. Alassane Senghor, the Secretary General of the Gambia Red Cross Society, thanked Ngir Gambia for their support.
These committed young Gambians living abroad and here in the Gambia committed themselves to supporting themselves. Hence the name for Ngir Gambia, which is a Wolof word meaning that they are doing all this for Gambia. So I would like to use this opportunity to thank them and to congratulate them for the initiative and for the donation.
Mr. Senghor continued to remind the public to adhere to the COVID-19 guidelines.
Today we are witnessing a second wave of COVID-19 in this country. Unfortunately, our response is not matching the current context, simply because people have relaxed in terms of using face masks, in terms of social distancing or physical distancing, in terms of not having big gatherings. Gambians to respect these basic principles or basic guidance from the Minister of Health and the WHO.
Ngir Gambia was founded in September 2020 by Gambians in the diaspora with experience in the medical and health fields, amongst others dedicated to promoting initiatives for better health in the Gambia. Secure borders requires robust data management and tracking systems. The Gambia's border management and control system has registered a milestone and received a big boost through a Japan-funded project that has been implemented by the UN Agency for Migration. Momodu Laminchoy has more.
Through the project, a modern border management technology known as the Migration Information and Data Analysis System, MIDAS, has been installed at 3 key border points across the country to access and manage travelers' arrival, transit and exit information. The Gambia is now among the 21 countries that benefit from the border management information technology that was developed by the International Organization for Migration for states in need of a cost-effective border management system. MIDAS has the capacity to collect, store and analyze travelers' information for effective monitoring and management of borders. Today, officials of the Gambia Immigration Department, the Ministry of Interior and IOM are inaugurating the facility.
IOM has provided GID equipment and infrastructure to sustainably use MIDAS. These include workstations composed of desktop computers, web cameras, passport readers, fingerprint scanners, and field servers, field databases, immigration booths, CCTV cameras, local area networks, solar power supply, air conditioners, fans and furniture, and finally a central database server set up at the immigration headquarters here.
The Migration Information Data Analysis System has been installed at Jiboro, Amdalai and Farafenya Kirayeb land border points. This technology enables states to manage and facilitate cross-border movements and understand mobility standards. This, in effect, has the potential to inform policy-related planning by governments.
It is important to note that MIDAS are essential and crucial border management tools, since the system assists in efficient security surveillance over the movement of people in and out of the borders, enabling personnel to monitor and coordinate diverse national security threats that might emerge at regular intervals.
The project was funded by the government of Japan through the IOM. The Gambia Immigration Department will have full control and ownership of data collected, processed and recorded by MIDAS.
Important to mention also that efforts are currently in advanced stages to have the same system installed at Sabi border post in Upper River region. Furthermore, with the continuous collaboration of our developmental partner, the IOM, our ultimate long-term target is to have this system installed at all entry points of the country and also the provision of the MIDAS motorbike kit to all border patrol teams across the country.
From now on, the country's border management will use a technology that has security features that can automatically record entry and exit data of travelers against national and Interpol alerts. The travelers' recorded data can also be used for the issuance of residence and other types of permits. MIDAS also has the capacity to share the data between border crossing points. However, the GID foresees irregular electricity supply and internet connectivity as potential challenges. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Well, we will take a commercial break. Still to come, we have more local stories. International and sports news follow. Do stay tuned.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Still onto local stories. Healthcare facilities often need external support in order to deliver services. The Q Group Social Club has donated food and other items to the Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Hospital. Jennifer Sonko attended the presentation and she now reports.
The Q Group, through its social club, is fulfilling its corporate social responsibility by donating to the Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Hospital. Corporate social responsibility is a type of international private business self-regulation that aims to contribute to societal goals of a philanthropic activist or charitable nature by engaging in or supporting volunteering or ethically oriented practices. The donated items include rice, cooking oil, onions, face mask, and soap.
The Q Group took it upon itself to join the rest of other institutions who have been donating to the Tanka Tanka to play our quota, to also make our contribution to the Tanka Tanka Hospital. Most people in Tanka Tanka, they need assistance, but they don't get the assistance from the community and even from their own families who brought them here. So that is one of the reasons why we at Q Group felt that we should do these donations to also encourage others to come and do the same thing.
The Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Hospital is the only psychiatric hospital in the Gambia and provides free services to patients and was built in 2009 by a Dutch non-governmental organization. The hospital currently has several challenges, and Omar Bojang, the department matron in charge of Tanka Tanka, takes us through some of the challenges.
Housing over 100 plus patients here. Definitely the government is doing its part, helping us with the medications, helping us with their feeds, but we all know without the private sector chipping in to help in other departments, it will be difficult. Because currently we are having challenges even with the kitchen aspect of it. Cooking with firewood should not happen in this kind of institution right now. The health of the cooks, the people who cook there too, should be put into consideration. There we are currently using firewood. We go to the laundry department, yes, the hospital helps with laundry machines and all these small stuffs, but sometimes the challenges are high and it cannot be all be done by the government, which we are grateful to the government.
The Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Hospital Management urges other institutions to emulate the Q Group in such benevolent activities.
The fact that they have that thought to come and visit us, basically it doesn't, before they even come here, they know the challenges we are having. This is why they come up with these donations. It might be small to them, but in our eyes, this is a big thing. Whatever you do for us, even if it is just chatting with one patient or helping give water to one patient, it is big to us. Our challenges are huge, but we take it day by day. So for Q Group to have that thought in the first place and promise us that this is not the first time, they will always think of us. That is a big thing to us.
The Q Group comprises 10 companies, and the Q Group Social Club was established to promote the welfare of staff. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Bosonko.
Now let's take a quick look at some interesting stories tonight. In the final match of the AFCON Under-20 tournament in Mauritania, Gambia's Under-20 team triumphed 3-0 over the Central African Republic to book a semi-final meeting with Ghana. Ade Drame watched this exciting quarter-final, and here is his report.
It was a case of saving the best till last when Gambia took on the Central African Republic. Theirs was the last match of the 4 quarterfinals, and it proved to be well worth the wait. Going into the match, Gambia knew that victory would see them once again face Ghana's young satellites, the very team they defeated to secure this quarterfinal spot. Ghana had come through 4-2 on penalties after a tight match against Cameroon, which had finished 1-1 in regulation and extra time. The other 2 games had finished 0-0 at extra time and had also gone to penalties. Uganda, who seemed to be getting better as the competition goes on, overcame Burkina Faso 5-3 on penalties. In the much-anticipated North African derby, Tunisia overcame Morocco 4-1 on penalties after their match had ended scoreless. Come the 4th quarterfinal, it wasn't just Gambian fans who did not want to see their team involved in the lottery of a penalty shootout. On the field, the young Scorpions must have felt the same. They started the match at a terrific pace. We had barely sat down to enjoy the action when they scored. 4 minutes from kickoff was all it took. Fofana driving low into the net after a nice cutback from Kajali Drame. Central African Republic pressed but could find no way through, and the sides went in at half-time with Gambia's slender 1-0 lead. In the 48th minute, Central African Republic had a great chance to score, but they fluffed it. They were soon made to regret it. Mamadou Bojang picked up the ball inside the box and did a quick transition, dummied past 2 Central African Republic defenders before slamming it into the net. Gambia were now in control and were mainly composed, apart from some poor attempts at time-wasting, which saw a few players, including the goalkeeper, pick up yellow cards. Mamadou Bojang took a free kick that sailed high over the bar, so hopes were not high when he stepped up to take another from almost exactly the same spot a couple of minutes later. This time, however, he made the keeper work, and the keeper spilled the ball, only for Barry, who was quickest to react, to tap home the rebound. In the semis, Gambia will now renew hostilities with Ghana, while in the other semi, Uganda and Tunisia will battle out a place in the final. For QTV News, I am Adi Darami.
Well, congratulations to the Scorpions. Meanwhile, the Gambia Football Federation signed a 5-year cooperation agreement with the Guinea-Bissau Football Federation on Thursday at the National Technical Training Center. The partnership between the two FAs will focus on technical, marketing, refereeing and football at all national team categories. Mamadou Gajaga has more.
An 11-man delegation led by Carlos Alberto Mendes Texiera had a 2-day walking visit in the Gambia, focusing on the GF's working method in management, marketing, sports infrastructure, technical, with special interest in refereeing and women's football development. After signing the cooperation document, President Texiera, through a translator, says he hopes to learn from the structures of football development in the Gambia.
Miste que acordo conoscina vai ser virar de página não só no futebol de Gâmbia, não só no futebol de Guiné-Bissau, mas a nível de toda a África.
I would like to say the agreement we signed here, I don't want this to stop only on football, but I want this to stand for everything for these two countries, also for all Africa. Have to benefit with this agreement we just signed here, not only football.
In an interview with QTV, Lamin Kababayo, president of the GFF, says he believes the cooperation will mutually benefit both federations in key areas of interest to advance the game in both countries. He added that the two countries have shared values.
To crown all, we know Gambia and Guinea-Bissau have ever enjoyed a very good, very close bilateral collaboration. And I think youth and sports is another very important component of that, because the majority of the population of both countries are composed of youth or the young people. And football is one of the sports most practiced in both countries. Hence, the interest of the number of youths in this area. So we think that is also going to complement the already very cordial and friendly relationship between our two countries.
Guinea-Bissau's football has evolved over the last few years. Not only has their ranking improved, which is currently 119th globally, the Portuguese colony qualified to their maiden AFCON tournament in 2017. Guinea-Bissau defeated Zambia 3-2 to qualify for the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations, which was by far their greatest achievement to date. They then also won their group in the 2019 qualifiers to reach a second straight finals. They may have been the first to come and land, but they have a lot more that the Gambia can also learn from. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, before we end this bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories. President Adama Barrow, Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, on Saturday presided over the 13th convocation of the University of the Gambia, urging graduates to use the knowledge acquired to develop the country. 63 Gambia Armed Forces military police completed 3 weeks intensive training on Friday, organized by the Gambia Armed Forces in collaboration with Royal Military Police of Great Britain. The Gambia Red Cross Society has received a grant from GIR Gambia to complement its outstanding COVID-19 response efforts. In sports news, Gambia's under-20 football team are through to the semi-final of the AFCON under-20 tournament after a comfortable quarter-final victory over the Central African Republic. Well, that's all we have for you in tonight's bulletin. Thank you for watching and have a good evening.